All right, Z6 III, let's rig this up.
All right.
So here we have the Z6 III, and we're about to rig this up with some SmallRig products that they were kind enough to send us. Here is the cage, here is the top handle, and here are the cable protectors. What's nice about all SmallRig products is that they will give you the tools in order to mount everything within the product themselves, and this is actually going to attach magnetically. And we're going to screw this into our 1/4-20 at the bottom of the camera. The next thing we're going to mount, this is our top handle. And if you're having trouble fully tightening it, you could always take this, put it into this hole, and push it so it's fastened down. Awesome. So now we have a nice secure handle. Now we're going to screw this where our cables and ports will be. Okay, so now that we have the foundation of our rig, let's talk about power. SmallRig sent us the VB99, which is an awesome V-mount battery. Now, the reason it is 99 specifically is that is the legal limit for domestic travel within the United States. We need a way essentially to attach this onto our rig. And that's why SmallRig sent us this. This is the V-mount battery plate kit. Now, if you didn't have a cage, you can still use this, but you would need to mount this onto the bottom of your camera. The great thing about this cage in particular is that the bottom itself is the exact width of this, so we can automatically put this on, which I just feel like is a really great feature. And this is going to mount directly onto here. The next thing after this that we're going to add is our monitor. So we're going to be using the SmallRig swivel and tilt adjustable monitor mount. So we're going to fasten this down, make sure it's nice and tight. And now we are going to grab our monitor. So we're going to mount this right here. Now we can move this down, we can move it towards this. So the next thing we need to talk about is essentially cabling everything and making sure everything's nice and organized and powered by this V-mount battery. A great feature about the Z6 III is the fact that you can power it via USB-C and not have to use what's known as a dummy battery. Now, a dummy battery would usually go into the section where your battery normally sits and have a coiled D-tap out to power it. But because this camera is weather sealed, we want to retain that durability. So we're not going to do that. We're going to power it via USB-C to USB-C. And now you're going to push it back down on itself and just fasten this down. And that'll essentially secure it from not being able to be easily pulled out. We are also going to do that with our HDMI cable that will be going to our monitor. Okay, so we're going to need something like this. This is a NPF dummy battery, and most monitors are going to use NPF batteries. So this is going to go here. Now this other end is going to go on this side of the V-mount battery. We have our monitor being powered by the V-mount battery, our camera being powered by the V-mount battery simultaneously, and this is going to be able to record for very long periods of time, and we've still retained all of the durability of the weather seal. So I'm pretty happy with what we got going on right now. But one thing that I'm personally really big on is just cable management, because, you know, as we're operating, we don't want to have these cables in the way. So a thing that I always do is use some kind of cable ties just to get everything nice and organized. Okay, sweet. I have everything nice and organized. When I grab my rig, you can see I'm not in the way of myself. My cables are nice and secured in there, so in case it tugs on something, it's not going to automatically come out. And this is essentially our Z6 III build. You know, right now we're pretty much ready to go for multiple hours. And now that we have this complete, ready for adventure, we're going to send this back to Jimmy and have them well on their way. All right, Jimmy, I got the Z6 III.
Nice.
Rig ready for you, all ready to go, adventure proof, durable.
Perfect. I'm going to hand it off to Drew. Let's get out and start our adventure today.